Hi guys, it's Will, and today I want to talk to you about a bit of an unusual topic here, and it's something I've always thought about ever since I had a kid of my own a year and a bit ago, and that's why my mum and dad didn't let me play video games as a kid, and what my life would be like now if they had. I've got dyslexia, and this will become relevant in a minute. I've got dyslexia. I suffer quite badly. It affects my reading quite heavily, and I've been thinking to myself, would I be able to read better if my parents let me play video games as a kid? And I really, honestly, truly believe that yes, my reading would be a lot better if my parents let me play video games. And here's one of the reasons. Growing up, I had a best friend, Michael, who loved World of Warcraft. Really wanted me to get into it, and one of the reasons I couldn't get into it is just frankly there was two rules in my house with the computers. It's you're only allowed to play an hour or so a night, and you are not allowed to download anything at all, just flat out no downloading stuff. I understand as an adult, I understand why viruses are a really big thing and sensitive information on PCs and stuff like this, but now I think to myself, well, if I was allowed to play, like, let's say World of Warcraft, how would that affect me at the moment? And the biggest thing for me is reading. So, as few of you know, I have a Twitch channel, twitch.tv/ironwill_24. Links will be in the description if you want to check me out. One of the reasons I started streaming JRPGs was to get better at reading. With JRPGs like Persona 4, that's the music in the background you can hear now, is from Persona 4. Persona 4, Persona 5. They're very story-intensive games. There is a lot of reading in it. And I forced myself to Twitch stream Persona 5 from start to finish and to read every single line of dialogue. And the reason for this was so I could get better at reading and get used to reading and just improve my reading ability, because it is trash. You will meet very few people who can read as bad as I can. All my closest friends will tell you Will is shit at reading. There's no other way around it. Half of it is from dyslexia, and half of it is from me being lazy and not teaching myself to read, really. School helped as much as it can, but as a kid you rebel and screw you school, you may be telling me to read books, but screw you, I'm going to go watch TV instead. Now, if my parents got me a game like World of Warcraft, for instance, and I really got into it, and I sat down as a kid and played 3 or 4 or 5 hours a night, however much as a parent you would say is a healthy amount, I do believe that I would have been reading a huge amount more as a kid than what I am now, or what I did back then. And I hardly read at all now, apart from in video games, like I said, with Persona 4 and Persona 5, and games like World of Warcraft Classic that I've just got into. I don't read at all. If I have to read a book, I will go audiobooks, and the reason for that is I'm so bad at reading, it's frustrating to read a book. You get from page to page will take so long to read that I will lose track of what's going on in the book because it's taking me so long to get through the book, and I'll give up. So an audiobook, because it's not frustrating and I can follow along to the story, I'm able to listen to books like Brandon Sanderson's Stormlight Archives and the other books he does. My favourite author, by the way, check out the Stormlight Archive. The 4th book is coming out. They're amazing, long and amazing books. So if you're looking for a new book, I would suggest Brandon Sanderson's Stormlight Archives. But so I'm sat here thinking to myself, I'm sat here playing World of Warcraft, and I am reading every single bit of dialogue. I have to. There's no voiceover, and I want to know what's going on. I don't want to just be collecting 10 bore asses or whatever it is for some random guy. I want to understand why I'm doing it. I want to understand what the motivation is of doing this and what's going on. And I appreciate this game so much more for it because I'm reading along and understanding. And I feel like that as a kid, if I was to sit down and do the same thing, my reading ability now would be a huge amount better than it is, just because the amount of reading I'm doing is so much more. Right now, if I open up the quest log, if I open up the very first quest in here, and it's just text. It is four short paragraphs of text that I have to go and read. And not only that, but it's also practicing comprehension. It's practicing, this guy wants me to do A, B, and C. For instance, this one here. This guy, he wants me to collect said items and take them to somewhere else. So I have to understand who the guy's name is. I have to understand the location. And then I have to cross-reference what is being said in here with what is being said on the map. I have to understand place names. I have to then locate those place names. And it's reading comprehension. It's not just reading. And it's one of the many things I think video games can teach kids in general. I think video games can be an amazing learning tool. And I'm not talking about the games out there that are made for schools to teach kids maths and so on and so forth. I'm talking about the actual, just a standard video game themselves. Anything from Call of Duty to World of Warcraft to Battlefield 5 to StarCraft 2. I think so many of these games have stuff in them that can help kids learn in interesting, unique ways. And when they go to school, they can then comprehend, oh, what so-and-so is asking me to do is very much like figuring out the lead time on a bullet in Call of Duty or Battlefield. And I feel that's the one thing one big example I would give to my family members at the moment is in a video game in real time, you have to very quickly locate a target, measure the distance from you to the target, then take into consideration the bullet drop of the projectile. Then you have to take into distance the lead if the target is moving, and then shoot. And if you get those things correct, you are rewarded with hitting the target and maybe even perhaps killing it. And when I started actually playing video games properly about 10 years ago, because I never played video games a lot as a kid, I was trash. My comprehension of lead times and bullet velocity and distance and that kind of thing in games like Call of Duty and Battlefield was non-existent. And I wasn't a dumb kid. My maths was quite good. But I feel like if I sat down and played games like World of Warcraft as a kid, one of the things I would have been able to do a lot better is quick maths, quick basic maths, the building blocks to your maths growing up into life and going from basic maths to more complex math and algebra and algebraic equations and trigonometry and stuff like this. And so if we, as an example, take my character here and then say let's say I pick up a sword, right? Or a belt, let's say this belt, and it's got +3 agility to it. Now, I know, and you know, +3 agility is better than +2 agility, and so on and so forth. And +17 armor is better than 15 armor. But as a kid growing up, when you're going through and you're looking at this base statistic and you're saying, right, I need agility, so +3 agility is better than 2 agility. That's quick maths, very, very basic quick maths. And then you start getting to the hit percentages, armor percentages, dodge chances, and these variables, and you start going from basic, very, very basic maths into chances, percentages, estimations, and slightly more advanced maths. And as a 7 or 8 or 9-year-old, your grasp of this mathematics will get to the point where you can go into school and a teacher can turn around, yeah, okay, what's that in a percentage? And you'll be like, it's this. And you know this because gear in World of Warcraft, or hit percentages in World of Warcraft, or dodge chances in World of Warcraft, and that kind of thing. And the same goes from the reading comprehension, which is this ability here, agility, increases the attack power with both melee and ranged weapons and improves the chances to score critical hits with all weapons, increases armor and chance to dodge attacks. Reading those sentences there, it helps you understand and learn those words. Alright, reading it helps you go into your brain then you can comprehend it, so when you read a book you can read those words better on. Now, there are a lot of words here, and I'm not talking for like a 30-year-old, a 40-year-old, a 50-year-old, right? I'm saying this is very easy, basic stuff, but I'm saying as a kid, if this is the building blocks you start off with life, if you start off teaching your kids this kind of thing from a textbook, they're probably not going to give a crap. But if you sit your 10-year-old down and start playing World of Warcraft with them, and you go through this and you decreases the amount of damage. Well, Dad, what does decreases mean? Well, decreases means it's going to lower the chance. Okay. Taken from physical attacks, the amount of reduction is influenced by the level of the attacker. Dad, what does reduction mean? What does influence mean? And you see where I'm getting at here? Straight away they go from being able to very, 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 very basic level of maths, very basic level of English, to be able to actually understand higher, slightly more moderate levels of language and more moderate levels of mathematics. That will help them progress in life. Every single one of my friends right now who is very, very good at video games, and you know exactly who you are, is very intelligent. And I do think, I strongly believe, that part of that intelligence comes from being allowed to play a decent chunk of video games, and a variety of video games, as at a younger age. Now, video games have age restrictions. You got to make sure that the games that your kids are playing are appropriate, or you feel are appropriate to the age they are, and that they understand what it is they're doing as make-believe, and that you can't go and start shooting guns and stuff. That's not right. That kind of stuff, right? You need to, as a parent, be responsible for your children. GTA is probably not okay for your 10-year-old, for example. But there are games out there that are okay for your 10-year-old. Mario, for an example. I never played Mario as a kid. And I'm not joking, I literally never played Mario. I didn't have a Nintendo system growing up. It wasn't until I was 15, 16 that I actually got a Nintendo 64 because of the nostalgia reasons more than anything. And one of the things Mario can teach you is reaction times and timings and stuff like that. And that kind of thing can help in everyday things like driving, where reaction times are very important. Now, if you've been playing games that are high reaction times, like Mario and Call of Duty, then your reaction times are going to be better than the average person. And this can lead to you being a better driver, a more, like, reaction-wise, being better with reactions when you're driving. And that could one day save your life. Who knows? Well, this is the reason why I think I will always be a little bit upset with my parents to be like, no, you're not playing video games. They're bad. They'll hurt your eyes. Well, it's like, okay, Mum and Dad, take a step back Also, my parents weren't 100% against video games, by the way. My dad no-lifed Half-Life 1 and 2, and Deathmatch, and CSGO, and yeah, he no-lifed that game. But yeah, so I think if you took a step back, Mum, Dad, I want to play this game. Okay, let's have a look at it. It's GTA. Okay, well that's not okay. You're 10. Well, what about this one? Okay, let's have a look. Maybe let's sit down, let's play it. He's getting really into it. He's getting a bit addictive. This World of Warcraft's a bit addictive. Yeah, he is, and you need to temper that. You need to temper that. Right? Okay, you want to play some World of Warcraft? Have you done your homework? If you had dinner, have you brushed your teeth? Got rid of the bed? That kind of stuff, right? But at the same time, he's playing 3 or 4 hours a night, and that means he's reading 3 or 4 hours worth of, well, it could be an hour or hour and a half worth of reading from quests, and it could be half an hour of mathematics in there, and a consistent knowledge of muscle memory and keyboard skills and social interactions. And I think there's a lot of video games can teach people, and as long as you don't let it get out of hand, video games can be a very addictive thing. But I do feel like video games are an incredibly useful teaching tool. It's one of the reasons why I will let my kid play video games. And it's one of those things where StarCraft, I hope he gets into StarCraft. I know the RTS isn't a big game, it isn't a big thing these days, but StarCraft has done wonders for people, where they're multitasking, building a base at the same time as macroing and microing an army is just beyond my level of comprehension. The speed at which they do this on a professional level, or even a semi-professional or amateur level at higher ranks, is just unbelievable. Some of, if we go back to League of Legends and MOBAs, where you have hit weapons, skill shot weaponry and stuff like that, skill shot abilities. If we take Valkos, a character in League of Legends, has a T-shaped attack where you shoot out straight and the projectile will split off in a T-shape. Being able to hit that requires a very precise understanding of shapes and triangles and angles and percentages and stuff like this. And being able to do that in real time is very good brain exercise. So if you're a parent out there who's telling your kid, no, you're not allowed to play World of Warcraft because it's addictive and violent, or no, you're not allowed to play Battlefield, you're 15, you're not allowed to play Battlefield, I don't care, I will not have that, I want to have gun games in my house, or people on League of Legends are violent and horrible and I don't want you playing that game. Maybe sit down with the game, look into it, see what parental controls are there, see if your kid's understanding of that it is a video game and nothing else, and see if that fits into a healthy lifestyle, because I do believe that playing games a few hours a night will help your child's comprehension of a lot of things, and which will lead to helping them in school. I think it goes with anything where it's saying that everything's healthy in moderation, right? If you let it take over their life, it's not going to be healthy for them. But if you give it in moderation and let them have it in moderation, I do think video games can be an absolutely fantastic tool for me, for learning how to read, and for others, mathematics and trigonometry and percentages and chances and estimations and all sorts of other stuff, and even social interactions and that kind of thing. So give it a think, give it a thought. And I hope this video's not been too boring. It's just something I've been thinking about while playing WoW Classic. I never played World of Warcraft as a kid, but I've really started getting into it. Final Fantasy's led me down for a dark path with MMOs, and I have really found an absolute love of MMOs in the last 2 years or so. So I've been loving it. But yeah, give it a thought. If you liked this video, please hit your thumbs up. Maybe give me a subscribe. Put something in the comment section below about what your thinkings and feelings are about this topic, because I know it can be quite a hot topic with parents and their kids, or even non-parents as well. They have their own feelings about it and how they want to bring up maybe their future families, or how people in their families are bringing up their kids, stuff like that. Everyone has their own opinions, and it's good to talk about these kind of things and get things out in the open and get things in the air. So yeah, if you enjoyed this video, hit that like, subscribe, and yeah, we'll see you guys soon. Cheers, bye.